My first guest, as you know, follows us right after the show 5 nights a week or 4 nights a week or whenever he shows up. Mr. David Letterman.
Yeah.
What a reaction.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Well, you just... Thank you. It's like working a rodeo. You
Yes,
can't,
it is.
You can't really, for laughs, beat a remote-controlled hat.
No, you can't. It's,
See, I'm back there and I'm watching that and I'm thinking, this is interesting. It's a Civil War sketch with actual vintage material.
That's right.
And I said to myself, Johnny Carson is the bravest man in show business. And then I see the exploding hat and I said, oh, well,
of course.
Sure, he's got an exploding hat. Who couldn't with an exploding hat?
You always save something in the bag just in case of it. When you're down with the material, you go for props.
Yeah,
if you have to go for an exploding hat.
Absolutely.
Now, would you have done a sketch like that on your show?
With the exploding hat in a minute.
Absolutely.
I would not go out there without a net.
Did you see the hat go off when you were standing back there at all?
No, I didn't.
I'm just ready to go on and the hat goes. Anyway, the old hat trick.
It's a magic night.
Isn't it, though?
Yeah.
And here we are again. Here we are together for the first time.
I came right by the newsroom, and I have a message for Leona Helmsley. San Quentin phoned, your room is ready. So I don't know what that means, but...
The mints are on the pillow. Yeah. Now, see, that's more than
man.
you've been on top of that story more than we have out here. I did a joke a couple of weeks ago about Leona Helmsley, and half the audience kind of looked. Now, you do that in New York, and it's the biggest story in New York in years, right?
Yeah, in New York, people want to take her down. You know, they're storming the Bastille. I was in New York. I came out Sunday, and I came out on TWA's nonstop service for Misfits and Losers. Look into that. And I normally take the Screamin' Baby Express, but this time I said, I'll spend the extra dough. And ask me now, Johnny, what time TWA's 6:30 flight to Los Angeles leaves?
Okay,
the
what time?
6:30 flight.
What
ask
time?
Me what time.
What time does TWA's 6:30 flight leave for Los Angeles?
8:30. And thanks for asking. We were waiting. People had been waiting for this flight so long they're actually getting mail there in the airport. Actually getting mail.
Getting mail, huh?
Yeah. 1865, they were getting mail.
You seem to have these problems with airliners every time you come out here.
Well, you know, it's tough to come out here, but I love California. I like coming out here, and I think it's important also to get away. It gives strangers who have moved into my house some time to themselves. You know, they need...
It's kind of nice. I admire you, though. You're kind of running a shelter, aren't you?
Yeah, that's right. It's important to have that me time, especially if you are psychotic. It's a very...
Well, you can blame Martin Sheen for that. He said for the homeless you'd go out to Malibu, and you don't really live in Malibu anymore.
No, I don't live
We're
in
not
Malibu.
neighbors like we used to be.
Yeah, we used to be neighbors, and all the great fun we used to have.
Not neighbors.
What do you mean not neighbors?
We weren't door to door. I mean.
No, you were on the 6 million side of the neighborhood. I was on the 600,000 side of the neighborhood.
That's when we had the bad truck out in front.
You know, I saw that truck today. As a matter of fact, you stole the truck and brought it in here.
That's right.
Yeah, and damaged it.
That's right.
That was fun, wasn't it?
I don't know if you remember that. I stole his truck once and brought it out here.
Oh, no, wait a minute.
Claiming.
Wait a minute. Were you out there jacking it up, you personally? Yeah,
stole.
I don't think so.
Stole was the wrong word.
I don't think this man has seen a jack in quite some time.
You may have. You wouldn't buy that, huh? And we brought the truck on the show. Then you complained that we stole it and it was damaged. We got Judge Wapner to come on this show. And he sat here and you bribed him with a half a dozen steaks before the thing. Yeah. And he ruled in your favor and it cost me
I won like $27.
Something like that.
Yeah, because you busted out a headlight.
No, we didn't bust a headlight.
Yeah.
No, you don't have this Malibu house anymore. Did you sell that?
I'm actually living... Well, I don't have it anymore.
Sold that to an interested party. Huh?
I just don't have it anymore. You know, it's a funny thing about real estate. Boom. You may not have it, sure.
Moves quickly.
Yeah. Hell, I would have gotten a trailer if I knew that was going to happen. Just hook it up and pull it out anytime. But there you go. And isn't life strange?
Isn't it?
You know what? I was out of the country for a while this summer, and I come back to, I don't know, I was gone like 10 days.
Yeah.
And it struck me how odd things are in a short period of time. I come home and I want to catch up on the news, so I'm watching, I don't know, Matlock or something, and I'm unpacking. And a news bulletin comes on, and it's Linda Ellerby. noted NBC newswoman, noted ABC newswoman, and I think, oh, it's a bulletin because they've interrupted Matlock.
And there's Linda Ellerby.
There's Linda Ellerby, and I thought, maybe a break in the Lindbergh case or something. I don't know. I've been... And she says, this is the headline, she says, millions of Americans are enjoying the full, rich flavor of Maxwell House coffee. I said, geez, pretty slow news day. And then she says, now, let's go to Wisconsin, where Willard Scott is standing by with a group of clog dancers. And I think, well, maybe it's a bigger story than I thought.
Of course.
Get another angle on this full, rich flavor thing. So we go to Wisconsin, and sure enough, there's Willard Scott. Now, I know Willard Scott. I'm assuming you know him.
Yes,
you probably know him.
Yeah.
I'm not telling tales out of school here, but it's a known fact. Willard is nuts. So he says, you ladies all love the full, rich flavor of Maxwell House coffee. And they all scream, yeah, we all love it. Now, Willard has a microphone. He throws down the microphone, grabs one of these ladies, one of these clog dancers, whatever the hell that is, by the neck, and they go spinning off like maniacs. Good. Not only is he goofy, he's full of caffeine now. It's a dangerous combination. You notice I came right back to material at that
Absolutely.
point? Yes.
You need a hat for the a real exploding
If I
hat.
had the exploding hat, sure.
We have to take a little message, as we are prone to do here. And you're probably prone to, so what's the difference? We'll be right back. Thank you. Welcome back to The Tonight Show, the only show that has two hosts in one. Been waiting to do that for a long time, and
That's
here
very
you are.
nice, fit right in.
You are in your, I asked you during the break, you're in your 7.5 year.
7.5 years, so we're working on it. I was thinking about it when I first started doing this show as a guest, and then later I was hosting the show. You knew I was hosting for a while, right?
That's right. Oh, yes.
And
I keep records of that.
you know, the Ayatollah died this summer.
Yes.
Yeah.
I just got over it this last week.
Yeah, it was
hit me
a
hard.
hardship for a lot of us. We're working
Yeah.
through our grief now.
Yes,
John.
I know. It's not easy.
And I can remember doing jokes about him when I was doing this show. And I'm thinking as I'm watching the coverage of this guy's funeral, here is a guy now, world leader, religious leader, and in one form or another, single-handedly held this nation hostage for about 20 years. Yeah. He got Ted Koppel his own show.
That's right.
And so there... Man!
Well, wow.
Somebody walked in up there.
Yeah. See, after the hat joke, they're ready for some esoteric material.
I guess so.
You can only go with exploding hat so long, and then they got to think.
So, they're covering the man's funeral on the news, and it's like watching a panty raid.
It was...
And so people are pushing and shoving, and I guess you know this, and they actually knock the remains of the Ayatollah out of the box and onto the street. Yeah. Thank God he wasn't injured.
That's right. He'd been turban dead for weeks, you know, before he actually died. He just kind of drifted away quietly. It was,
So now the other thing I'm thinking about is Oliver North now. They finally had the trial this summer.
Right.
And they finally had the sentencing and so forth. He gets like a fine. He's fined like $100,000. And he's given 1,200 hours of community service. Boy, that'll teach him.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, I think they're sending a pretty powerful, pretty clear message there, by God. You get caught selling weapons to one of our enemies, mister, and by God, you can just spend a couple weekends a year picking up cigarette butts in the park. Forget that. Because... And one more thing here.
I bet there is.
So,
well, I hope there is.
so now this... so this Rob Lowe deal. Now, this thing... I just want to get this straight. The guy goes down there to the Democratic National Convention last summer.
That's right.
And by the way, isn't he the kind of bright-minded, clear thinker we need in politics? And he gets himself into some kind of trouble, and this I don't understand. He goes around, I guess, talking to girls. Are you under the legal age of consent? Good, great. I'm Rob Lowe. This is my buddy, Larry. I don't know, he's got a buddy. We'd like you to come up to the hotel room and have sex with me, of course, and Larry. And we'll be videotaping this as a memento. And so now he gets sentenced, he gets caught, and he gets sentenced, and it's 20 hours. 20 hours of community service. And so he's going to go around lecturing high school kids. So the real challenge here, as I see it, will be for the first time he's going to have to try and entertain teenagers with his clothes on. So that's part of it. But he's not off the hook. I understand he still might do hard time for singing at the Academy Awards. So I don't know.
We got 20 hours of
so long. Jeez, that was
20 hours of community service. The main thing is, though, that servicing the community is what got him in trouble in the first place.
Well, there you go.
I think.
Why didn't I think of that? That's the better joke. It took 8 seconds, and we have...
when you're on another 20 years, you remember those. You have all that to draw from, folks. Speaking of our shows, and I guess we were, if somebody you want on the show that there are people that turned the show down that I never had on. Cary Grant was one of them. I would have adored.
Cary Grant was not on the show?
No, he just refused to do it. He just felt uncomfortable.
You know, he was on when I hosted.
See, now I do my thing now into the camera when you do that, and then we go on.
The old slow.
That's right. We all have our little things.
Yeah, like I'm dog meat now. You give him the look like
that's right.
Yeah. You know, there's a lot of people that you would want on the show, just exactly like that, Paul Newman and stuff like that.
I had Paul Newman on the show.
Yeah, I can imagine you had.
Yeah.
But I find the hardest thing about doing a show like this is not getting, oh, stop it. People are now laughing at my segues.
That's right.
Is people come on and they don't have good show business stories. Mm-hmm. and I finally have one, and I've had it for like the last 4 or 5 times I've been invited on the show, and I thought tonight I would.
I can't think of a better place to do it. An amusing show business anecdote.
And then we'll get to your question later,
Certainly.
John. And it's about a circus act, and maybe you've heard this. Are you familiar with the term cutting an act if you're a drummer? Does that ring a bell with anybody? Yeah, and I think what this means, not being a drummer, you would know, I guess.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
You get like a circus act, and it's the moves of the actor accented with like rim shots and a cymbal crash.
Cowbells and so forth.
Yeah, and it kind of provides a little bit of drama, a little bit of underlying tension. So there's this act someplace, pick a state, New Jersey, thank you.
Right.
And and he's working, the gimmick is the guy works like 100 feet off the ring. No net. So it's just the wire, the high wire, and then 100 feet of air, boom, down to the sawdust. There you go. And he's working with a drummer who is cutting his every move. Does a forward roll, boom, bang. Could we hear a little of that? What that might?
Forward roll.
There, exactly. A double roll, that kind of thing. All right, now this goes through the entire act. Finally, the big finale, the guy, like a double back flip, and he lands, splits, bounces back up, and then does something else. I don't know. I wasn't there. Mm-hmm. He misses the big land, the split on the wire thing, and is now plunging to his death. The drummer cuts him all the way down. Yeah, there you go.
Very inside show business.
It's a show business story.
That's a real show business story. Cuts him all the way down.
Cuts him all the way down. Minutes from being stained sawdust.
And you saved that one for me, huh?
Oh, no, sure.
Sure.
It's no exploding hat, John.
No, I know that, but you know.
But I thought you'd like it.
Yeah, I do like that. So, what else? Anything else on your mind tonight?
Well, I don't know. Talk about this Paul Newman thing. So
he's got all of his products out now. He's got popcorn. He's got salad dressing.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. So I finally get the chance to meet the guy. This is one of those guys I've always wanted to meet.
Yeah.
And, you know, there are people in show business who assume everybody knows everybody and everybody wants to hang around everybody. I was in a restaurant once on Long Island, and I'm getting up and I'm leaving, and I hear a guy start to applaud and interrupt the joke. No, I hear a guy... and God bless you for it, come to think of it. So I'm getting up to leave, and I hear a man say, Dave? Cliff. Just like that, and I turn around, it's Cliff Robertson. Like we're in a club. And coincidentally, I'm so stupid, that day, my phone was on the blink. And for a split second, I thought, oh, great, I'll report it to Cliff.
Because he does it.
Yeah, So I'm in Phoenix now. I'm attending an automobile race a couple of years ago. And there's a race driver named Bobby Rahal.
Yeah.
Great driver. Won Indianapolis in '86,
right.
two-time national champion. And I'm spending some time with his wife. She's being nice to me, showing me around. And she says to me, would you like to meet Paul Newman? And I think, well, geez, normally, you know, if she said, would you like to meet that Hey Vern guy? No, I'd have passed on that. So she goes into his trailer, and by God, there's Paul Newman. And I'm stunned because this guy is really a star, a major movie star. He's been in films, HUD, The Verdict, on, the Butch Cassidy, The Sundance Kid, all of them. A great actor and a great star. And the only thing I can think to say to him is, geez, I really enjoy your popcorn. That's the only... But we go on and we have a nice little dialogue, and I'm beginning to think, geez, maybe we're friends now. Paul Newman and I, because we've chatted, we know one another, we're both at the race, we both know Debbie Rahal. Okay, so now, a couple of months later, I'm at Indianapolis, also at a race. They have a race there. And I see Paul Newman again, and I think this is my chance to impress this young woman that I'm with. I think this will just drive her nuts, because Paul Newman is coming up these stairs. He has a little white outfit on, white shoes, white pants, white shirt, little white hat, like he's pretending to be in the Navy, this kind of thing. And so I normally wouldn't do this. I stand up and I see him and I said, hi, Paul, just like that. And the girl is right here. Paul does this. And keeps walking.
True story?
It's a true story. Yes, it's a true story.
And the end of the story?
Just go to the commercial.
Oh, I see. Want to do a... That's a drum roll to the death.
Man!
And we'll be right back.